Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about Superman, A Friendship Unleashed Issue 1 by Ivan Cohen, Travis Mercer and Andrew Dullhouse. James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie gets a tie-in series ahead of its release, sponsored by a dog food company called Milkbone. The issue throws us right into it as Superman and Krypto are in space destroying asteroids that could pose a threat to Earth, taking out some of the bigger ones the planet's atmosphere cannot handle. Now already this is some pretty classic Superman and Krypto stuff, playing fetch with some asteroids, just having fun, kind of, showcasing that Krypto is more than just a normal dog. It also really fits the tone of this new DCU really well, as I can totally see David Corenswet's Superman doing this with Krypto on screen. It's got that really fun energy of a James Gunn film to it, and I can imagine like some sort of, pop track to all of this happening at the same time. After dealing with the asteroids, Superman and Krypto head to Metropolis, where they decide to play some regular old fetch in the park alongside some other dogs and their owners. The casualness of this, of Superman just hanging out in the park with other people of Metropolis, is just so refreshing, since usually it would just be the big asteroid sequence, which we've seen many times throughout comics, and then we'd just move on to something else. We wouldn't get this, where he's down in the park with the people. It's the one thing we've seen across the movie's teasers and trailers and little clips we've seen, that Superman is around the people of Metropolis and he's in their spaces, he's with them. He's not just floating above them like a god or anything. He's one of the people of Metropolis as well, he works there, he lives there. I also want to point out that for a product tie-in comic, there is a shockingly low amount of product placement. Like across the whole issue, I think there's 2 real indirect references to Milkbones, and it's like all in the art, like it's not mentioned in the story at all. Like we don't have Superman suddenly stopping to tell you the benefits of feeding your dog a Milkbone or anything like that. It's just all visuals with like boxes of Milkbones here and there. It's not in your face, which is really shocking because DC has a long history with product tie-ins. So does Marvel, and really any comic company does. And usually it's really in your face, like it's right there. They're trying to sell you the product, right? Or promote the product, so it's got to be right in your face. So it's really weird seeing that it's not done this way in this issue. And hell, it could be worse. It could be like some less than thought out approaches they've had in the past, like making Jared from Subway join the Justice League. Anyway, back in the story, Superman is hanging out with Krypto and their new friend named Kurt and his dog when Clark hears an explosion at Star Labs. A responding fire truck speeds past the dog park and blows a tire on the road, veering into the dog park, causing the dogs to scatter in fear. Superman saves the truck, but the truck broke the dog park fence, causing the dogs inside to run free away from the danger. Superman has Krypto help out his new friends, getting the dog to rebuild the broken fence before helping rescue the other scared dogs who escaped. Superman meanwhile heads to Star Labs, finding the 14th floor has still 2 scientists on it who are trying to keep an out-of-control experiment at bay. As Krypto finishes rounding up the dogs, Superman enters the lab, finding the scientists have managed to shut down the experiment, but the fire in the lab is still out of control. Luckily, Superman blasts into the building, saving the 2 scientists, but one of them alerts Superman to his service dog Maddie still being in the building under his desk. Superman is sure that he'll be fine since he's got backup as Krypto arrives to help the service dog down to safety. Now, I've probably said the words fun quite a fair few times throughout this video, which is really weird because it's again a product tie-in issue, but this is just fun. This is the type of Superman story I love. The hero helping out the people of the city he protects. It's Superman through and through. And not just that, it mirrors the tone of what we've seen of the movie so far as well, which is really quite interesting because I know James Gunn has said when the DCU was originally pitched that characters from the DCU, their appearances in movies, comics, games, TV, etc. all will count as canon to the overarching story. Now obviously they're not going to reference what happens here in, a Superman movie or Justice League movie, but I think it's pretty cool that, this happened in the universe. Superman helped Star Labs out and, played with Krypto in the park and all that sort of stuff. Save some animals and all that sort of stuff. It's just a consistency thing for me really as well, because it's very consistent between this and what we've seen of the movie so far. Everything feels exactly how it should be. It's not varying character traits or anything like that. They're not like wildly different characters here. 1 hour after the fire is put out, Superman takes the scientist and his service dog Maddie to the park, deciding that after a day they've both had, they deserve some downtime outdoors. Superman, A Friendship Unleashed issue 1 was really surprising. It is a product placement tie-in comic, but it surprised me just how little it actually focused on the product, and instead it was just 8 pages of fun Superman and Krypto action. Not asking any big questions or taking any big swings with the character and what they stand for, but not every comic, let alone a product placement comic, has to actually be that, and sometimes comics can just be fun. Also, it's free on the DC Infinite app, so you can't ever go wrong with a free comic. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10.